Testing is vital to healing. Without it, you can cause so much more harm than good on your healing journey. I'm Sandy. I'm the author of Heal Yourself. I'm an integrative healing practitioner, and I know firsthand what damage you can do with trial and error. Because on my journey, when I was trying to clear my skin, I was using trial and error. I was trying all these cleanses. I was guessing based on my symptoms, and I ended up developing interstitial cystitis because of that. And that is the most painful bladder syndrome that you can ever experience. It's like having a bladder infection all the time. And it took me years to repair that damage, but it did give me that push that I needed to go and become a practitioner and learn these labs so that I can help make an impact for people all over the world. Now, over the years, I have run hundreds of different functional medicine labs. I have run thousands of tests on people all over the world, and I really wanted to create a program and use the labs that actually work, the labs that give us the most information, the best bang for our buck. We don't want to be running 100 labs. We want to run a handful of labs that is going to show us what our body needs to heal. So in the Heal Yourself program, we have our foundation labs, and that is going to give us a picture on what our neurotransmitters are doing, what our detox pathways are doing. It's going to show us our mitochondria. It's going to show us a lot of nutrient deficiencies. And those labs are blood work, genetics, and organic acids. Now, organic acids, I run the Great Plains lab, which is now Mosaic. They recently rebranded. It is my favorite organic acids test. It's going to show us candida. It's going to show us yeast markers, fungal markers, and bacterial markers. It's going to show us oxalate markers. It's going to show us mitochondrial function. It's going to show us our neurotransmitter metabolite. Now, a note here, it's not showing us neurotransmitter levels. It's showing us how our brain is breaking down our neurotransmitters. So we need the genetics to give us the full picture on what's going on with our brains. The organic acid test also is going to show us many markers on detoxification, and it's going to show us a lot of different nutrient deficiencies. It also shows us how well we're breaking down and absorbing protein. So really great powerhouse test. Next up, I run the genetics. Right now, I'm actually using the Ancestry, the basic one. It's like $99. And it's going to show us our brain function. So how our body breaks down our neurotransmitters. It's going to show us our dopamine, serotonin, and GABA receptors. So whether we're breaking things down quickly or slowly, and that with the organic acids is going to give us a picture of what support our brain needs. Super cool. Now, genetics shows us so many markers of detoxification. It's going to show us all of phase 1 CYP enzymes, which is really cool. And it's going to show us methylation in depth, which is needed. And that's much more than just MTHFR. Don't just focus on MTHFR. You need to look at the entire methylation cycle. And you can see that in the back of my book, Heal Yourself, in the appendix. I actually go over in depth how to analyze these labs yourself, which is great. So that you can go and empower yourself. And if you go to a practitioner who doesn't quite understand, you can give them a copy of my book so that they can also learn how to use these labs to get this amazing information for their clients. Now, the genetics is going to show us a lot of other things, but our main focus with the genetics is definitely our detox pathways and our neurotransmitters. Now, I personally do not look at any of those markers that show us your predisposition to disease. I find that creates a lot of anxiety for my clients. And in all reality, we believe in epigenetics, that we can turn these genes on and off based on our environment and based on really cleaning up our body and healing our bodies. So we do not want to create anxiety. We do not want to put our body into fight or flight. We actually want to do the opposite and put our body into a parasympathetic, calm serotonin state so that it can actually heal itself. So definitely, if you feel that you're going to get anxious looking at your genetics, or you're going to try to look at those things that are going to create anxiety, then please work with a practitioner. Don't add more anxiety. So many people are suffering from health anxiety, which is really keeping them sick. We need to move to that healing state. So next up on the labs is blood work, and that's going to show us our full thyroid panel. It's going to show us our iron levels. It's going to show us our detox pathways. It gives us some really key critical markers. And when we put those three labs together, that is our foundation of support for the body. And then we have to add some time to the equation. It's so important. It's something that people really skip. And we need to give the body tools with the supplements that we give it. It's not going to be take a supplement and be better next week. The body needs a lot of time to heal and repair. And after we've given it some time with the foundation, I normally like to give it at least 30 days. Then I run a Dutch test, and the Dutch is going to show us adrenal and sex hormones. And it is much better than blood or saliva because it's going to show metabolites. So how the body is breaking things down. And more often than not, the issue is with metabolism, not with the free levels. Now, even when there is issues with free levels, if you don't know that your metabolism is safe and you start supporting your free levels, say your progesterone is low, so you take a lot of progesterone, but it turns out you're prone to really high toxic estrogen levels, then that progesterone can do more harm than good. So again, that's why we test. Now, after that Dutch is on board, then we can go and move to more phase 3 detox work and most likely rerunning blood work so that we can check to make sure that you're ready to go to gut and heavy metal detox, which is our next labs that we're going to do. Some people at this point, if we're not seeing changes with the foundation lab, they may need more advanced testing like a methylation panel or a copper zinc test to really gear down their levels, or a urinary amino acids test. But that's actually quite rare. Probably only about 10 to 20% of people that I work with actually need those labs. Most people are going to thrive so much with that foundation support and the Dutch that we just put into place that the majority of their symptoms are actually going to clear up. And it really is turning things around from what most people think is the approach to healing, and that's working on the gut first and thinking that their gut is creating all their symptoms, when over the years doing this program with hundreds of people all over the world, I've seen that the majority of people actually get better without ever doing gut work. I definitely recommend doing gut work because when we're healing, we want to remove as much stress from the body as possible. So that's really clearing out parasites and protozoa and bringing our bacteria levels into balance and helping the body get yeast under control and working on heavy metals. It's all very important, but most people will find that their symptoms are actually caused by the imbalances and deficiencies in their body, not what's going on in the gut. So when the person is ready to go to gut work, when we see that those markers on their blood work are showing us, yes, you're ready, you're good to go, then we go and we do gut testing. And we need to add a biofilm buster first. So many people go to gut testing and it comes back as a false negative. And that's because these pathogens hide in biofilm, and we need to break that up so that we can see it on our labs. So we do a biofilm buster for 2 weeks, and then I run a para wellness test because we first want to tackle parasites and protozoa. Usually it's not so much parasites that are there, it's the protozoa that are causing a problem. They create all these imbalances in the gut, and they also create autoimmune issues in the body. So we definitely don't want them to be there. And the protocol for them is 3 months long. We use the biofilm buster throughout, and we use different cycling antiparasitics to make sure we don't create resistance. And then from there, we stop all of our antiparasitics and we continue our biofilm buster and we run a GI map. And that's going to show us whether we've been successful. It's going to show us bacterial levels, H. pylori levels, and yeast levels, and some other really cool markers. Now, what's amazing is the majority of people do not have any yeast issues. And that's because of all the work that we've been doing. And people are really shocked when they find out that, yes, when we do this foundation work, when we take away the stress on the body, when we rebuild the body, the yeast will actually go away. And it's because the immune system is now keeping it in check, which is super cool. And we actually see that with the different systemic issues also, like EBV or the different viruses that weaken the body, or Lyme, that when we start to strengthen the immune system, all these other pathogens now are able to be controlled by body. So really cool. Those are the labs that I like to run. So recap: organic acids, genetics, blood work, that's our foundation. Then we run our Dutch. Then we might do some retesting, make sure that we're clear and ready to go to gut work. We start with the Parawellness, and then we go to the GI map. Now, some people do a SIBO. Actually, it's very, very common. And then we would run some SIBO breath testing if needed and work on SIBO, because getting that in balance can be that last little factor that we need to really get the body to optimal health. Now, if you're looking for a practitioner, you can go to my website, www.sgintegrativehealing.com. Click on Work With Me. You're going to see the overview of the Heal Yourself program there, and you can check out my packages and book a health assessment.